You're really asking whether that every instance we're seeing in front of us could be wrong or right. And that's everything. All you have to do is to present one counterexample. All swans are white. Look, there's a black swan. Therefore, not that all swans are white. I'm going to give you 4 arguments for this. How do you know that things you see are real, or you perceive them as they really are? How do you know that you're not in a simulation, or it's a brain in a vat? And all these type of nonsense questions. Now, there are scientific arguments and there are conceptual arguments. Now, the scientific ones I'm going to leave in other videos. A good starting point would be with James J. Gibson's direct process theory. It's good science, and it does have some good practical applications. These road driving lights are one of them. We're going to go with the conceptual arguments because they make it more logical. They're encompassing of different scientific theories. They can go under it, and they're not too much into the philosophy of wonderland. If it's linked to empirical evidence, the direct ones rather than inferential, it becomes more stable. I'm going to give you 4 arguments for this. The last one is about common sense, but some people do need some of this technical stepping stones. So let's go. We're just going to warm up with the first argument. When somebody asks, you ask me for example, how do you know what you're seeing is real? Well, is it a 50-50 chance, what you're asking? Because if it is, then it can't really be not existent. You see, because you can't really give probabilities of something that you do not know. In the sense, who's the prince of Zanzibar? Is it John or Jared? If you don't know who, then you can't really give probabilities or say it's a 50-50. So whether I exist or not is a question that comes after knowing something actually exists. The probabilities come later. The probabilities come after affirming the existence. But how then you reconciliate hallucinations? Well, then that's why we said you need to claim that something exists first, and then it could be right or wrong. But the claim that it does not exist is contradictory from the get-go. The second argument, it's a universal claim. If you're saying that how can we know everything around us, or what we perceive as real, then you're really making a universal claim. A general universal claim, i.e. that everything around us we're not sure of knowing, and that is an affirmative claim. Now, 2 points to solve this. 1, it's highly inductive. You can't have the right to make that claim, really, because it's very limited from very limited options or instances. You're really asking whether that every instance we're seeing in front of us could be wrong or right, and that's everything. And that's highly inductive, or highly an inductive argument, because it's about instances around you. Now, you're not just talking about your instances, you're talking about mine and everybody's, past and future. And you only have a very small sample of data to actually extrapolate that everything we do not know. How'd you get that? Which comes to the second point. When you ever have universal claims, all you have to do is to present one counterexample. All swans are white. Look, there's a black swan. Therefore, not that all swans are white. You don't even need to do that. You don't even need to go down that logical inductivist route. It's a contradiction from the get-go, which brings us to the second point. When you say everything is not known, which is kind of what you're saying here, well then, how do you know that you know everything is not known? Because if everything is not known, then you don't know that you know that everything is not known, and it's a contradiction. So forget even that inductive argument, which brings us to the third argument. When we perceive things, well, we're perceiving reality, and something is not right when it's not according to reality. But then perception is an aspect of reality, isn't it? If we perceive something, it needs to be wrong, which is not reality, but perception is a part of reality, at least true aspects of that reality. Now, does this lead us to say that some things we know, some things we don't? True, but the claim that we don't know anything falls. It's not factual. So you do know some things, at least in aspects. Which brings us to the fourth and the common sense argument, actually. Which is the better one always? Well, actually, why do we ask these questions? I mean, if we do perceive things, and if we know things around us, how do we actually get to know that in the first place? It's really direct. So all we're actually doing is just recognizing how things are real. So if me and you think of a pizza or an iPhone, and then we find a pizza and an iPhone, this is how we get to know how we know about things that are real. Now, there may be other new ways, perhaps, but that does not negate how you know in the first place. And then coming with a question about that, that's actually contradictory, but even then, Why is it warranted in the first place? And that's why philosophy is a problem. It leads you to a whole lot of problems. These guys with the simulation theories and the brain in a vat, they're taking down a route which is not even warranted from the get-go. You get the point? So the common sense answer is what we deal with, what children do and donkeys do. For more informative videos, hit the like and share. See you later.